Welcome back to section 2.1. We're going to be talking about some word problems and writing equations of these parabolas now. So we're going to find the equation of a parabola whose vertex is at -2, -2, and passes through the point of -1, 0. So we have the vertex. So now what we need to do is we need to find A. So keep in mind, in this vertex form, this general form, or standard form, y equals A times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. So our vertex, that's our h and our k, and this point, that's our x and our y. So we're going to use that to solve for A. So y is 0, A we don't know, A, and then it's going to be x, which is -1 minus -2 squared plus -2, or minus 2. So 0 equals A times -1 minus -2 is -1 plus 2, which is 1 squared minus 2. So we can add 2 to both sides. 2 equals A times 1 squared, which is just A. So there's our value for A. So for our function, our parabola y equals 2 x minus -2 squared plus -2. So y equals, when we clean that up, 2 x plus 2 squared minus 2. There's our equation for the parabola. So now our values for A. A is +2, h is -2, and k is -2. So our transformations from the parent function, it has a vertical stretch of 2. And then we're going to shift left 2 and down 2. There's our transformations from that parent function. Let's do the same thing again for the next one, for number 8. So once again, the vertex, that's our h and our k, and the point is our x and our y. So y equals A times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. So y, which is 3, equals A we're looking for, 2 minus 4 squared, and then minus 1. So we can add 1 to both sides, so we get 4 equals A times 2 minus 4 is -2 squared. So 4 equals 4A. Divide both sides by 4, and our value for A is 1. So for our function, our parabola, y equals 1, which we don't need to write, so it's x minus 4 squared minus 1. There is our parabola. So A is 1, nothing happens there. H is 4, and K is -1. So we have, is all we're going to be doing is shifting to the right 4 and down 1. There's our transformations from the parent function. Okay, some word problems on the next page. A baseball is hit 3 feet above the ground with a velocity of 100 feet per second, angle of 45 degrees. A lot of information there. Now the path of the baseball, that's the important thing, is given by the function f of x equals, where f of x is the height in feet and x is the distance from home plate in feet. What is the maximum height reached by the baseball? So what I would do is I would start by drawing a picture. Now there's a lot of information given. We know the baseball is being hit 3 feet above the ground. Now the leading coefficient is a negative. So that means it's going to open down. It's going to look like this. So now they just want us to find the maximum height reached. And the maximum height is at the vertex. So that's all we're doing, is we're looking for the vertex. This is in general form. We need to find the x-coordinate first. So x equals the opposite of b over 2a. So b is 1, so it's -1 over 2 times -0.0032. Make sure you put parentheses around your entire denominator. So when you do that, you're going to get x equals 156.25. But that just tells us the distance. It traveled 156.25 feet to get to the maximum, but the maximum is the y-coordinate. So we can find f of 156.25 equals negative 0.0032 times 156.25 squared plus 156.25 plus 3. So f, when x is 156.25, is 81.125. So there's the maximum height. The maximum height that the ball reached, 81.125 feet. And there is the maximum height. A local soft drink manufacturer has the production cost given in that function, where C is the total cost in dollars and X is the number of units produced. How many units should be produced each day to yield a minimum cost? Now, I want to see this in standard forms. So C equals 0.075x squared minus 120x plus 70,000. So the parabola here, since A is positive, it's going to open up. So that minimum cost is going to be at the vertex. And the cost is our y value. But we have to find x first. X equals the opposite of b over 2a. So it's going to be the opposite of negative 120, which is 120, divided by 2 times 0.075. Make sure you put parentheses around your entire denominator. So when you do that and you divide, you get 800. So that's the number of units, but we need to find the cost for C. So F of, actually, I guess we'll just do C equals, 0.075 times 800 squared minus 120 times 800 plus 70,000. So when you type that in, you're going to get 22,000. So how many units should be produced to yield a minimum cost? 800 units to minimize cost. Which would be $22,000. So actually, we didn't even have to find y for that one, because 800 was the number of units. We were done pretty much in the beginning. And now for the last one here, 11, a local newspaper. You can see the costs. C is the total cost in dollars. X is the number of newspapers. How many newspapers should be printed? So I like to look at this in standard form. 0.06x squared minus 108x plus 55,000. So to find that, it's going to open up. The minimum's at the vertex. So x equals the opposite of negative 108. So it's 108 divided by 2 times 0.06. Make sure you're putting parentheses around your entire denominator. So when you do that and you divide, you get 900. So 900 units. So they should print 900 papers. If you wanted to find out what that cost would be, you could type that value for x in, 0.06 times 900 squared minus 108 times 900 plus 55,000. So then the cost would be $6,400. So the thing from this part of the lesson is how to find the vertex when you're in that general form, and how to solve for A given the vertex and a point. Okay, thank you, and I will see you in the next lesson.